Hello, how you guys doing this evening? I hope you're doing well. Um, haven't made a video in a while. Guess I just been going through a little something. I wanted to make this video, basically addressing, you know, uh, health issues. Um, as you know, I'm one of these people that have high blood pressure. Um, and I've been taking my medication. And at one point in time, my blood pressure was up to 170 over. It was over a ridiculous number, and I got it down to back to regular, like 120 over 81. It was really getting up there. Um, and then the results of it is, not of course not eating right, not really consistently exercising and things like that. Uh, and then the result of it is that I'm taking about 4 or 5 blood pressure medications, and one of the medications that that's a possibility that I think is nifedipine. And I had for the last couple years or so, I have this thing called edema, where your legs swelled up, and it's just, the thing about it is that, I don't know if you ever see this with some people, and their ankles swell up a little bit. Well, the thing about this is because that means that the blood circulating through your body is not properly being distributed through your body, so your legs, all the blood, if you sit for a certain amount of time, or you know in like the chair for like 6 to 8 hours, and you don't exercise your lower extremity, and also too, you eat a lot of fatty foods and sodium over a period of time, that builds up your legs too, and it also raises up your cholesterol. And so I had an incident this past week, and the lady that that who was a housing counselor came by. We usually talk and everything, and I don't want to make this too long. It's not gonna be too long a video. She came over. She saw my legs are swelling for the past couple weeks, and and she said, "Mr. Thomas, are you okay? Your ankles are, severely swelling." And I said, "Yeah, it's just something that, because whenever it's warm, I try to get out and walk on my feet." And she was saying that, she was really concerned with that because it thought it could lead to something else. And needless to say, so I didn't think much about it. She said, "I'm gonna come over." She texted me and she said, "I'm gonna come over," and for some reason, she got to see me about something. And so she brought over a supervisor. So then she come over with a little gift bag, and she was really persistent about me going to the hospital and figuring out why my ankles were swelling, what's causing the swelling, because that's not normal for your ankles to stay well. Well, and so I'm good. I didn't want to go in no emergency squad, but I ended up had to take a squad down to the ER. Everything checked out okay. My blood work was good. My kidney levels were good. My my kidney, my blood, all the things they do, because they want to make sure you don't have, congestive heart failure. Everything's perfectly fine, and I can still move my toes around. It's just, sometimes it takes something to get around. But if you know anybody who has edema and it's swollen in the ankles, please, let them tell them whatever medication that they use, have their doctors to adjust the dosage, because, and then really in the meantime, if you can, is this is what I've learned over time, you keep your legs propped up, and what it is that the water causes you to use the bathroom. The water rushes back to your body, and it gets up, because that's what happened when I was in the emergency room. I had to go to the bathroom a couple of times. I didn't drink no liquids, and it's just even the liquids that said my legs went elevated right back to my heart and everything. And so I told my sister about it. I told one of my couple good friends about it. I didn't tell my mother about it, because if I tell my mother something like that, she just go haywire. She go really out. Mom's gonna worry. But I wanted basically address this and share this. If you have that, make sure if you don't sit too long at the computer table or anything, because if you eat a lot of high sodium foods, because that's one of the things that kind of builds up over time. And if you don't get out and move around and motivate around, that can cause the water and the swelling and stuff. And it happens to quite a few. Some people it happens to, and it can be rough when you're trying to walk, because it's like you feel like you're carrying weights on the bottom of your legs. So that's one of the things. And then it was a crazy week. My sister, her husband was getting surgery. Our aunt was getting the surgery up, and she texted me and she called me. That's in Cleveland, because I told her I've been in the hospital. Then we have a cousin of ours was in the hospital. She's had what they call a lot of seizures from something that happened years ago, and the seizures were so bad that it was saying that it collapsed at one of her nasals, her upper nasal, something like really something, that it was something that isn't necessary surgery. Literally, she could have left this world. Wanted also, her mother at the same time, because she just got out of the hospital. Then her mother goes in for my Aunt Jeannie, who lives in Cleveland. This is my sister that lives in Cleveland. This is all going at the same time. So my sister's husband is in the hospital getting some surgery I think on his back or something like that. I don't know if it's back or leg or something. And my aunt, she's going for heart surgery. And it was just one after the other. So my sister was texting me and everything. It was really, really crazy. And then my good friend John had someone to call one of his relatives and said that he was in an accident, and he was out of town visiting his son. And they called his uncle saying that first of all, they believe it. They lied. They lied. They believe he got vehicular homicide. Then they said that he was in the hospital, and so his uncle was seeing if he was calling around for Bill bondsmen and everything. Come to find out that it's a thing about scam that they're doing with. It's not just your mom and dad, but anybody's connected to you. There are people out there that's contacting your relatives or your like your uncle, if you have an uncle or aunt or grandmother, and they saying that so-and-so's in an accident. So that's one of the latest scams that's out there. He was a victim of that, and all this is going on, man. It's just that really. I can say that I don't like to give the devil give it his due, but he's been doing something, man. He's been. I mean, every time it's like, you ever have one of those days where you have friends and family, and you have certain people and the people that's close to you, everybody's going through something at the same time. This, like my cousin over here, my aunt over here, getting surgery in the same hospital as my sister's husband. Then my cousin, she just come out of surgery, Then she had to go back in to get something done. One of my best friends, he going through something, and luckily he got it straightened out. And of course I went through something, and with my body, thankfully, and I just wanted to say, throughout all of this, God is good. God is very good, because I wasn't mad at the housing counselor that came to my situation, because I live by myself, and my family lives. I live in South Central Ohio, and they live up in Northeast Ohio, so it's about a couple, 2 or 3 hours away. So that's the reason why people check on people, because not too long ago, about 2 months ago, one of my neighbors passed away in his apartment. They found him. I guess no one haven't heard from him for a while, so they went in there and locked the door, and he was deceased in his apartment. And so it's good to check on people who are at a certain age, and if their health is somewhat good, check on them. Like they say, check on your elderly people. I witnessed this since I've been here in Columbus, Ohio. I witnessed a couple neighbors dying in their own apartment alone. And luckily one neighbor had her son with their son, and she passed away. Another neighbor right down the same hallway in my last apartment, he passed away. And then luckily one of his friends came and checked on him, and they were in the apartment, and he found that he was deceased. So overall, you have to really take into effect that, and it really causes you to appreciate people, the people's in your life, family, friends checking up on you, because you just never know. And sometimes, we all get to our little stages that sometimes we don't want to be bothered, but sometimes it's good that you answer the phone, because they just concerned about you. Because just like what happened with my neighbor, nobody will know till like a week, a month later, that when they haven't heard from you. And even with my resident manager, she said, we haven't heard from you. You doing okay? You're doing all right? And I say, I'm doing good. I'm doing fine, because they was worried about, because they say that my ankles are swelled up from the water, but it's going down a little bit. As far as my ankle is concerned, I'm going to go see a vascular specialist, and they determine what's causing it. In the meantime, in the meantime, you have to stock one of them kind of pressure stockings, where you have to. That kind of helps keeps the fluid down, and it keeps the compression down. It keeps the swelling down. But for people who, especially if you had a certain weight too, if you have a little bit overweight problem, that can be really hard on you. But thank God, it's only God that's been keeping me up this long, keeping me going. But here's one of the good things out of it, by me sitting in that hospital and talking to my counselor, a housing counselor that's originally from Houston, Texas. I have a family member, my uncle, lives in Houston, Texas. We haven't heard from him in 3 years. And let me tell you, this was a miracle. I was telling her the story about I was sitting in the hospital, and we just have to talk about family and things like that. I told her, and she was originally from Houston, her and her side of the family, and she used to work with the homeless people down there in Houston. So she told me about Houston, Texas. And Houston, from what I heard, I never been to Houston, from what I hear, is a pretty big city down there. And it's like, what about They said about over 4 or 5 million people down there, and it's so the chances are finding somebody slim to none. And there's been so many things that happened down in Southwest Texas and in the South. The weather. Crime. All kind of. They've had blackouts and things, and when you have someone that you kind of concerned if is they okay, because you haven't heard from a while. And the reason why we haven't heard from him, see, my uncle was he's struggling with some past regression and go along with substance abuse. He's the kind of guy that he cleans himself. He was trying to clean himself up, get right, go to church. I'm thinking that he's getting himself right, but he just got this devil on his back that just won't allow him to really stand and stay consistently and staying clean. And that's what, even though my aunt's kind of written him off, but my mother's still concerned about him. And so when she got that information, she found this picture just like that. That was a miracle. That had to be God. I put his name in the system, and boom, she went to some website, and so I called him. I'm telling my mom and a few other people, hey, I found my Uncle D. No one did. I tried to tell my aunt. She didn't want to. She didn't tell my mother. So then I finally told I got a hold of one of my friends. He was happy, and then my cousin, he didn't respond back to me. And so finally I got a hold of my mother, and I told her what happened. She said, anything wrong with him? I said, no. But I said, I got an up-to-date picture on what he looked like. And he looked pretty much the same. He had some gray beard and everything. And I was just thankful that, you just, no matter what your relatives do, you really appreciate when you see somebody, even though they're going through a substance abuse or mental abuse or whatever it is that's causing them to not stay consistently. It's just want to know if they're alive. Is they okay? Is they alive? I mean, I'm not going to judge whatever you do. I pray that you really, take your life seriously. That's what, because you don't want to, because I witnessed so many things, man. People being on alcohol, drugs. My mother's husband, her last husband, that he was on drugs, and he had diabetes. He lost a limb because his vein collapsed in his body, right? And he was only barely. I don't think he really turned barely was in his early 70s, but after years of trying to run the streets and things, and he was trying to. When he got out, he got back in. In his mid late 60s, he went back. Had the mindset of a street person. Going back and doing the same old things that trying to hook up with the same old buddies, and it kind of disturbed me, because it's like, man, how is it that you're not learning a lesson that this the same situation that puts you in behind bars. So yeah, but the results of it was he had a stroke, he had all kind of health problems, and lost his limb because of that. A guy got gangrene, and oh man, it was horrible. And men in general, but particularly sometimes black men, gotta take more good care of themselves. And sometimes we gotta let that stubbornness go, man. Stop trying to be hard and trying to think that you can relive the past over again. God's trying to preserve you, and you can't do the things that there's a lot of people trying to do things like they did when they were younger, when you was in your 20s and your 30s. When you get in your late 40s and 50s and 60s, you can't do the same thing and be about that street life and keep running around in bars and everything, man. I had a cousin that just not recently was out there running in the still bars. He was 60. He just turned. He was 60. I think 68 years old. I wasn't really that close to him, but up in Youngstown, he passed away. Then he got hit by a car coming out of a bar. Man. And practically all my cousins on my mom's side. This is on my mom's side of the family. That coupled with the alcoholic, and they just did what they used to do back when they was a young man. When they was in high school, they're still doing the same old thing, and they're not really taking care of themselves, and they're not really living long. And it's like they shorten their life longer than they should. Things start catching up to you when you get older, and that was the case what happened with my stepdad. Man, he just, my father, believe it or not, he was 45 years old when he passed away, but he passed away of a heart attack. So I lived past my father's age. My grandfather passed away when he was 80. Of course, he was up in age. He had them symptoms and things, dementia and kidney problems and things. So certain things that I thank God I have it in my family. But I definitely stay on your health. This is a service to any black men that come, any men, period, but particularly black men. Stay on your health. Don't be so stubborn trying to be hard-headed, trying to be hard. Your family member, your friend, your children, whoever is important in your life. Take care of your health, man. It ain't no joke out here. We are at the final hour. You don't want to leave this world unless you have to. I know we all gonna eventually leave this earth one day, but some people are doing it faster than they necessarily have it. God has a timeline for all of us to leave this world, and we can get, some of us can be stubborn hard. We can be a little hard headed sometimes, and I know I've been real stubborn. Even I have to watch what I eat. I'm trying to be watching. And try to, whenever I can, exercise, because this thing, it ain't no joke. And I'm kind of glad. And my sister told me something recently. For people who drink a lot, did you know that when she told me this, that kind of tripped me out. That drinking speeds up dementia. My sister told me this. So people who have access to drinking a lot, and they start all of a sudden messing with the memory and cognitive and brain fog and things like that, and they start having all kind of symptoms. So drinking it, long time. I knew people that when I lived in Cincinnati, I knew some people, heavy drinkers down there. They're no longer here. I know people that do some drugs and live that life. They're no longer here. And the people that still left here, that's still doing it, like my sister's cousin, he been getting high for almost 40 years. And now he got high so much, he didn't get beat up and robbed. This is in Cleveland. And even after having a stroke, he's still getting high. He's paralyzed from the right side on down. He's having a stroke. He had a stroke and still out there trying to get high. And still that he was trying to get out there and think that he would, because he used to work on cars. One time, this ain't funny, but he's trying to work on the car after having the stroke, work on someone's car. Trying to make some money, trying to make a hustle. But he can't, all this part of his body is gone. My sister tried to help him to get his life together, but he don't want to give it. He don't give it up, and he was doing drugs for over 40 years, and it's a miracle he made it this long. That someone didn't take him out over a bad drug deal or something, or he'd been beat up by people and everything. And that's what my uncle been through. He been through the same thing down there. He got robbed, beat up. So especially in a city like Houston, that's you gotta stop doing that street life. I know it's a different environment in these different cities you go to, because he's been to Houston, he's been to San Antonio, I think it was Austin, San Antonio, and he's been to Atlanta. So he's been home. He's been going off and on, off and on. He gets his life straightened around. My mother's brother, but I don't know what it is. He's doing good. Next minute he don't. I don't know. Just going to deep. He goes right back to the deep end again. So I just pray for him. All I can do is pray that one day that he really takes his life seriously, because he's had many blessings, and there's a lot of people out there. God has to love them, because there's so many people leaving this world. Some people leave this world that never know that their family member is gone or left this earth, and that's why it's important to check up on them. And sometimes without being away from my mother, my mom, we live up in, like I was mentioning earlier, but sometimes I keep a hold of her or my sister and my family get on Facebook, let them know something, because something happened to you, and luckily a few people around you, and I'm learning to value people more, value the people that really care about you, value the people that really concern. And I know, cause God comes through people. Because there's some people in this a cold world. Some people don't care. They only out for themselves. So if you have some individuals that's concerned about your well-being, take heed to it. Don't get mad. Don't get upset that they telling you to go and get your health checked out, because it's very, very important. This is the kind of message I want to put out. That stay on your health. Luckily, thank God I don't have no diabetes. Thank God, that's another thing too. I don't have no diabetes. My sugar's been up a couple times, but it never been labeled as a diabetic. Blood pressure, cholesterol, they're trying to keep that level. But my kidneys is functioning. They test your urine and see, check all that stuff like that. And so stay on your health, man. It's like a public announcement. Stay on your health and stay connected. And those, if you live alone, stay connected with your family. Please stay connected with your family, because I've seen this, man. I've seen people die in the apartment, man, and their family members didn't know that they was gone. And they have some kind of health problem. So if you live alone, stay connected with a friend or family. That's the best thing. And also stay on your health. Stay do regular check up. And one thing I learned, make sure if your doctor give you the right dosage, as far as you take a blood medication or any type of medication, because it can make some type of side effect that can really damage. Even blood pressure, certain medications, even blood pressure medication, you have to be careful. So that's one I wanted to mention out. And I just thought, I made this video because when I make a video, it's something that's something that's close to me and touched me. But there might be someone out there that don't think about it and might not really take it seriously. But if you have swollen ankles and your legs swell up, you have what they call edema, go check on that. Keep your legs propped up. Go and check with your local doctor. And basically keep motivated, because once the body, that type of body, when you sit for a certain amount of time, it. So one of my friends was worried about. That's why I went to a doctor and I said I was worried about the water. She said, "No, Mr. Thomas, you don't have congestive heart failure. You don't have water around your heart, nothing like that." She said, "No, you have something that's different." And so I was like, because I don't want that fluid going back up. But it's going naturally. But I just want to make this video and give you some testimony of what I've been through and what my family members have been through, friends have been through. I was talking with my spiritual mentor, and she was giving me a story that I haven't talked to her about it in a while, but like almost 6 months as I talked to her on the phone, and she's telling me how a man was homeless, and she's real close with him, and one day, she known over the years, he's been homeless for like almost 30-40 years, and one day they found him in the park and he was gone. And that's what I think about people like my uncle. You never know. There's someone out there, and that's the sad thing, because you know somebody and they pass on, and he been beat. She told me how he got jumped, robbed, beat up, and everything. And it's heartbreaking when you see stuff like that, because every person out there in the street have their own story. Not everybody out there homeless is on drugs or alcohol, whatever stereotype. Everybody have a different story out there. You just never know. Some people have a mental breakdown and they lose everything. Especially right now with the way the economy is, there's people still homeless from the pandemic probably. And it's really, life really change you, but that's why you really need the Most High God, because it can be depressing. It can be you can get in that state, and so I pray that you take anything from this video, not to depress you, but at the same time, God's been with me. I'm a testimony. I've been through some things, man, with my body, feel like I was having and you ever have one of those people out there, you probably know you have like an anxiety attack. Oh man, it's like you're having a heart attack or something. Man, I had one of those, and I'm telling you, eat right, and say your prayers and stay close to the Most High God. If you believe, hopefully those you believe in God, because He's the only one's going. When it comes to that kind of crisis, I don't care if you say you don't believe. You're gonna believe it when you feel like you're close to death. You're gonna believe in God. Trust me. When you're in a medical crisis, boy, that's a scary time. You gotta go in the hospital. You don't know if you're gonna come up out of there. Anytime you go into the hospital or anything, you don't know what's gonna happen to you these days. And thank God that my sisters, my aunt's up there, and my sister and them up there for her husband and our aunt, and they're recovering right now up in Cleveland. They can come out of the Cleveland Clinic up there, but yes, and take care of your health, people. Please take care of your health. So that's the message. And I don't want to make a real long video, but this is my testimony. And oh yeah, I'm about to go see him. But the thing about before I go, I have a doctor. Is seeing a vascular doctor that see what's causing the fluid, but I can't see him till like June. But in the meantime, I just have to my doctor orders another thing. And another thing that happens too, after a while, when your legs are swollen, your skin it does something to your skin too. It makes your skin puffy in different places because that fluid is not going out too. That's one of the things too. So that's why it's good to stay up on that. But other than that, wear they said wear some pressure socks and keep your feet elevated, and you can stay motivated. Let sit on the couch or bed. The kids to keep his. That's one of the things I know when you get older. And watch what you eat. And that's another thing she says. My doctor told me, watch, different. I don't eat a lot of sodium products, anything, sodium intake, the kind of foods that you eat. I don't eat no processed deli like I used to. Canned goods, it's with all the salt and everything. You eat a lot of that over a period of time, that builds up in that system too, and you don't move around too much. That can also probably cause it. Also, of course, the sugar and things like that. But take it seriously. But and I still got the mark from the IV. I still got, and I hate doing that. When they get you in there and they have to do some blood, they put the IV and then they got to get the blood off. How they then they got to get blood to run the lab, but they got to run an IV. And I hate doing IVs like that. And the worst one is when they stick it right here. It's like, oh. So good thing I didn't have to go through nothing like that. But yeah. But anyway, I just want to. But I can't. Everything came back all right. But yeah, if you know a loved one that's suffering that, tell them watch the intake of their whatever they're eating, and go if they have that kind of symptoms, have the doctor them check out. And if it's some kind of it could be some a side effect, or it could be some kind of medication. That it could be a combination of things. But my ankles is like they're not normal size, so I don't want to show you the gross you out. Anyway, all right then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a good one. Take care of yourself, take care of your health. Check on your loved ones. If you live by yourself, if you're a man or woman, stay connected with your relatives, because they're the only ones that's gonna know. Okay then, you be blessed and take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.